Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me at 9 a.m. I can't actually believe there's this many of you, so it's really nice. And thank you so much to all of you who have already kind of said hello in the chat and just kind of talked about some of your courses. They actually sound so interesting. I just finished my undergraduate degree, so it's really cool to see kind of some of the other things that you'll be getting involved with here. Um, if you are currently self-isolating, I hope it's going okay. Please do reach out to us if we can support you in any way. And if you're joining us from afar, then also welcome. I hope that you're looking forward to the kind of kicking everything off. I can appreciate it's not how anyone imagined, but hopefully this session and these other sessions as well can kind of give you a good introduction to the University of Edinburgh if you're new, and kind of some other topics as well. Just quickly start you off that this session will be recorded, but the chat function isn't recorded, so don't worry about that aspect. It's just, I believe, my face and my screen since June time. So I'll quickly introduce myself. Hello, my name is Ellen. I'm your Students Association President. So I'm one of 5 sabbatical officers, and we work full-time all year round. We took office at the start of June, and we work full-time to represent and support students, not only to the university, but beyond as well. And especially as my role as president, I kind of lead the overall representation of the student body to the university. And that's not just undergraduate students, that is postgraduate taught postgraduate research. All of you are included in that. And you do actually have program reps as well. So they are part of our strand in terms of your representation. So we are absolutely here for you. So please do get in touch if ever you need. Anyway, I'll get started. I'm going to start off by just welcoming you to the Edinburgh Welcome event and our activities as well. So, which obviously I won't lie, starting on the 12th of September, that date really took me by surprise. Time flies when you're having fun and trying to deal with coronavirus. Anyway, so your Students Association events, we have over 400 events across these 6 different categories, and you'll see that we actually have a section specifically for postgraduate students, so you're not hanging out in groups with undergraduate students, which you're also welcome to join, but you might find that you don't particularly want to. And all of these 400 events, these are online events, so you'll be able to kind of introduce yourselves and be able to get involved with postgraduate students in an online setting. So it doesn't matter whether you're back with us in Edinburgh or whether you're currently quarantining or anything like that, you can still get involved. And obviously you're more than welcome to join in these other categories of events as well. Okay. So there are so many ways to get involved, but kind of my top tip and the way that I most got involved and met new people was through societies and student groups. And I've kind of mentioned again, we've got over 350 online events, and these are all led by our student societies and student groups. So they are so excited and really ready to welcome you all into their groups and just kind of get started back into the semester. Okay. So if you haven't downloaded it already, the University of Edinburgh Events app is a fantastic place to find out everything that's been going on. You can scroll through that for ages, and you'll see a lot of the events are either happening on Zoom or Board Collaborate, and you'll be able to save those to your calendar and find everything that's been going on. Can't see the events, I think you have to download the students 2020 to 21 sort of package, and then all of that will become available to you. And again, you can filter for postgraduate courses and just postgraduate students in general. Okay, so and then also you'll be able to find on our website all of the events that have been going on. So that's our What's On page specifically, and you'll be able to see everything that's going on there. So if you don't use the app, you can see all of the Students Association events as well. And we've also got links to them on our Facebook channel as well. I'm just going to quickly pause for some water, excuse me. just because it's popped up on my chat. You can see if you can't see any events on your app. I have heard of some issues with that before, but if you've downloaded the Students 2020 to 21, and then it sort of refreshes and the events were found in there. But do let me know if you have any more issues with that. Also, just to say that I can take loads of questions at the end, so apologies if I miss some of your questions in the chat already, but if you have questions specifically for me, please feel free to save those to the end, but please also do feel free to keep chatting in that chat box below, or to the side even. So moving on. And there are also specific Facebook groups for new students and Edinburgh welcomes as well. So we kind of don't really have much influence over these. These are just creating spaces in which you can meet new students who maybe live in the same area as you, or the same accommodation as you, or who are on the same course. We're just trying to create a platform in which you can kind of get connected with students that you might have things in common with as well. It's always good to follow us on social media as well. We've got several different channels, and the sabbatical officers also have their own personal channels as well. But the activities Facebook channel, that kind of lets you know what's been going on, kind of our society events and things like that. The Big Cheese Facebook channel, so Big Cheese is obviously our club night, and that won't be happening for the first semester, definitely at least, but there's still ways in which we want to party and have a boogie and de-stress a little bit on a Saturday night, so we're still having fun things coming through that channel as well. And the Student Association Advice Place, the Advice Place, if you haven't met it before, is kind of our go-to centre for any terms of advice and support. They're separate from the university, professional, impartial, and obviously confidential advice from anything to around mental health to academic progression and finances. Anything you need, kind of the Advice Place is a really good place to go for that. But then they've both got their Facebook and Twitter channels, so they're a kind of good one to follow as well in terms of well-being and other things going on in the university and the Students' Association. At the Students' Association, we also have our liberation campaigns. So these provide a really excellent platform and community for some of our marginalised groups. And these will have our online spaces. So all of these different campaigns have their own Facebook pages, and you're just welcome to go and join and kind of discuss things sort of in that close and respectful Facebook group as well. And these groups are really welcoming and open to any new students. So if you identify with one of these groups, then please feel free to join them. And this photo here is kind of of our 2020 to 21 liberation officers. So there's one for each group, and they've already done such fantastic work already over the summer. Yeah, definitely get in touch with those. They're fantastic. I've kind of already touched on before, but for me, kind of the student groups and student societies was the best way in which I found different people. There's obviously no obligation to stay in a society. If you try it out, it's not actually for you. I think definitely in my first year as an undergrad, obviously, I probably tried out like 10 different societies and probably stuck to about 3 or 4. But so there's no obligation to stay, but the ones that I didn't stay in, I've actually still got really good friends from them for just going to an event and like talking to other people in the same situation as me as well. So even if you don't stay, you can still find really good people. So the Students' Association, we have societies, our social enterprises, our peer learning and support schemes, as well as academic families as well. And our sports union has many competitive and non-competitive sports teams, and obviously they'll be operating slightly differently as well in the context of coronavirus, but again, sports has slightly different regulations, that kind of our hospitality and social spaces do as well. But again, so on our website is where you can find a whole list of all of these societies and student groups, and also our volunteering opportunities as well. I've met loads of people through kind of just going to a one-off event to just help out in terms of volunteering, and it'll be slightly different again when we're on a kind of online context, but there'll be still so many opportunities to kind of meet new people, especially with our societies and this Welcome Week, with all of those events going on, and keeping that focus kind of just being online so you can meet those people. It should hopefully still be really good, and I know it's not what everyone was expecting, but there's still so many ways in which we want people to get involved. Let me just see. Here's the end of my slides. I'll ramble on slightly. If you have any questions, then please do start flooding the chat. That's absolutely fine, and I'll start picking them off. But our Welcome Week is not just for a week. We plan to have, a full program for the next 6 weeks in terms of these induction events. So I know with postgraduate it's slightly different in terms of your term time and everything like that, but this is kind of the start of term for undergraduates and a lot of our societies where they really pick up kind of what they want to be doing. But in terms of postgraduate, there are many postgraduate specific groups, and you'll find them within your schools as well, that you can hopefully find that community in as well. And this year, of course, all of these groups are being really mindful of the fact that some students may not be on campus, they may not even be in Edinburgh. Goodness, it's too early for me. Apologies. But so we're still almost keeping that hybrid approach just like the university is. But I'm really glad to see that there are questions, so I can go to those rather than ram on.